All right, this is going to be a quick video. I had quite a few people ask me, how did I get the swim component from the Fab Marketplace working with the game animation sample project? Now, remember, I'm using the Gasp-ALS project made by Polygon Hive, and I'll include the links again. But I just wanted to go through it real quick. So right off the bat, you have to, and I'm not going to show this part because it's already done in this project, but right off the bat, you have to retarget the swim animation blueprint. Now I'm using UE5 5.1, and the retargeter can be a little wonky, but the swim component has a UE5 skeleton version of the swim blueprint, and it has a UE4 version. Just try both until you get one that works and retarget the swim blueprint, animation blueprint, to the UEFN skeleton that you're using in your project. So that's the very first thing you got to do. And once you have that stored in a directory, then you're more than halfway there. So let's look at the character. Now, this is the blueprint for the CBP underscore sandbox character, which is the default character that's used in Gasp, and every other skeleton is retargeted to it, which is why you're making sure your swim animation blueprint uses this character with this skeleton. Now you have a swim component here that you've added for the system, and you just drag it out and you go to wherever your jump is. And you can see it here on my jump, enhanced input action jump, swim component, and then you drag out and you get the is swimming variable. It's a Boolean variable. And if it's false, then go ahead and do your jump. Now you might be asking, well, why do I do this? And the reason for it is there's a transition period from when you're in the water and coming out of the water, or out of the water and going into the water. And you want to make sure it doesn't try to do any weird parkour stuff or anything while it's transitioning into the water. And this is just a safeguard. So after you've got this in place, you've got your animation blueprint, which is the UEFN skeleton. You've got jump protected. Then you look at the animation blueprint for this character. So it's ABP underscore sandbox character. Now, in the anim graph, and I'll just pull this down so you can see we're in the anim graph. Uh, just before the output pose, I've drug in the ABP swimming, and you do this by right clicking, I believe it's linked. Yeah, so linked anim graph node, and then on details, you'll see it wants to know which animation blueprint, and you add your swimming blueprint. So once we have our swimming blueprint, what we're doing is we're doing blend pose by Boolean. And the reason we're doing this is if the character is swimming, we want to run this blueprint. If not, then we don't want to run this blueprint. So notice that I have two Boolean variables. They're both replicated. Now I made these swimming and swimming surface because their swim system seems to have a separate system for surface swimming. Swimming is your overall Boolean, and it probably would work with just that. But I wanted to be safe, so I added swimming surface. Now I made these two variables. I just created them. Let me adjust this so I can show you. So I just made these two variables, and they're both replicated. If I go over here, you can see that they're replicated. All right. So then we got this blend posed by Boolean, and it's saying that if we're swimming or if we're doing the swimming surface, um, use this. Now you notice that currently, because I'm working on stuff, I have it disconnected. It would normally look like this. Um, but I don't honestly feel like I feel like so far it's been working for us with just this. So you might not even need this one. It's just kind of a backup. All right. So what it's doing is it's blending this animation blueprint whenever the swimming boolean says it's true. Now, how do we tell when this is swimming or not? Because these don't have any code to change them back and forth. And for that, you go to the event graph. And in the event graph, you have this event blueprint update animation. And if you don't have a sequence node there yet, go ahead and add one and add a pin. And the last pin says is valid. And I'm just making sure that it's actually seeing the character in case they're dead or they just got shot or something. But anyway, so we pull a reference from the sandbox character. Now, this is actually already set up in the animation blueprint. I didn't have to make this. When the character is created, there's automatically a variable called sandbox character. So then we go get component by class, and we have what's called the BP swim component, and that is the component that is on your character that you added. So it gets that component. We bring it up and we do an is valid. And then if it's valid, all right. So I'm just dragging from get component by class out and making target is swimming. So we're just reading from that swim component to get the variable is swimming. And like I said before, I've got is swimming on surface, but I'm still not convinced we even need this. So you can just leave it out most likely. And then we're setting the variable for both. So what this does is every single cycle of the animation, however many times per second, it's going through all these sequences and it's doing this. It's going, okay, get the character, get the swim component. If it's valid, then we drag out from here, we go grab is swimming, and then we go set. And that's it. And from that point on, your character can swim with the swimming component uh, blueprint from the Fab Marketplace. It's not perfect and it's not the cleanest execution, but it did teach me that we can totally go to the anim graph. We can totally override Gasp with another linked blueprint, which is very useful, not just for swimming. There are other things like there are in the marketplace, there are climbing components and there's all kinds of components that used to override things. And it's just good to know that we can do it with the game animation sample project. So that's it. If this was helpful, please like and subscribe on the stream. We also have a buy want to help out. We'll keep making videos like this.